this documentary, we'll be looking at renewable energy sources and their applications in the U.S. Due to the overuse of our natural fossil fuel reserves, we have entered an era called peak oil. Peak oil means that we have used over half of the world's resources as far as fossil fuels go. At our current rate of consumption, many experts believe that over the coming 50 years, we could see the steady decline of fossil fuels and the rise of renewable energies. With growing energy demands and a declining fossil fuel reserve, the U.S. will have to turn towards either importing fossil fuels or turning more towards renewable energies. According to the Energy Information Association, the U.S. gets 82% of its energy from burning fossil fuels, whereas only 18% comes from renewable energy sources. Burning fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide and other pollutants called chlorofluorocarbons that are released into the atmosphere. These pollutants can cause the formation of smog around large cities and can damage the ozone layer of the atmosphere. This, as well as the other associated problems with fossil fuels, are the reasons as to why many Americans feel the need to switch to renewable energies. The first and most common form of renewable energy is biomass burning. While it is still considered a renewable energy source, biomass burning is not nearly as clean as the other options when considering sources for renewable energy. It still releases carbon dioxide and other pollutants into the air just as burning fossil fuels does. The next most productive form of renewable energy in the U.S. is hydroelectricity, mostly in the form of dams. Dams work by using the power of rushing water to spin turbines and create electrical energy. And because dams don't have any harmful byproducts, they can be considered one of the more clean forms of renewable energy. Another clean energy source is solar power. The most common form of solar power is photovoltaic panels, or solar panels. While it shows tremendous potential, solar power isn't nearly as efficient as the other renewable energies that I've mentioned in this documentary. But with more funding, this industry would surely create more efficient versions of the current photovoltaic panels, thus making it a more efficient and more reliable source of energy. Many states have started giving incentives to companies and citizens who use photovoltaic panels to power their homes or businesses. Another renewable energy source is geothermal energy, and this is energy that comes from the heat in the Earth's crust. While the U.S. hasn't really devoted too much money or energy towards geothermal, other countries such as Iceland have devoted a lot of time and effort towards developing this energy source. In Iceland, it has proven to be a viable source of energy even on the national scale, though they do have a much smaller population, thus smaller demand for energy than the U.S. does. Another factor that needs to be considered when talking about renewable energy is the use of electric vehicles. While they may not be sources of energy themselves, they do help the cause by cutting down on the use of fossil fuels. States also make use of economic incentives for citizens who drive electric vehicles. At the end of the year, they get a tax write-off for driving the electric vehicle. Many large car manufacturers like Nissan and Chevrolet have started making electric vehicles. These large companies have started getting government incentives for creating these electric vehicles, thus bringing down the price and making them more available to the general public. The government, as well as several large companies such as ExxonMobil, have started funding educational programs in scientific fields that will lead to more workers in the renewable energy field. The combination of eligible workers and the need for a sustainable energy source or sources will lead to an explosion in this industry over the coming years.